This is the 2026 Woodland model. This is in the ice cap, and if you look closer here, the Woodland is going to come standard with the 18-inch all-terrain tires, metallic gray wheels here with the Toyota emblem in the middle, matte black over fender here, and you're going to see a two-piece split grille in the front, which is a little bit different from the other models that you saw in the 2026 RAV4. You have sensors on the front, on the rear, and you'll also have a standard activity mount, which I'll discuss later on in the video. Now with this split grille here, you'll notice a little bit different positioning of the multi-terrain monitor. So instead of right in the middle, you'll see it off to the right side of the vehicle here. You have Ridge industry lights here, which is different from the other models. You'll see metallic gray cladding down at the bottom here. You'll see LED lighting. Also for your turn signal indicator, you'll only see it in this area here instead of like the upper models here. This entire headlamp right here is your blinker right here. So let's step back and give you a side profile of the Woodland. Like I said, this is the ice cap. You see accents across the vehicle, all-terrain tires, like I said, the standard. Also what's standard is a all-wheel drive. You would not see a Woodland in a front-wheel drive. Some of your other models in the front-wheel drive, the SE, the LE, and the XLE Premium, but not in this model. See your Woodland badging here. And I mentioned before, you do have your activity mount that is standard. Because this vehicle is a all-wheel drive, it's going to tow up to 3,500 pounds in this particular model. Metallic gray diffuser down at the bottom. I mentioned your parking sensors. That's going to help you with your safety braking. You're going to see gloss black on the door handles here. Looking up top, you're going to have standard roof rails with the Woodland badging on the sides. You're going to have crossbars. All those things are standard on the Woodlands. You don't have to get the crossbars or the rails. This particular design here on the rails is standard on the Woodland. And also you're going to have gloss black side mirrors here. Integrated turn signals, blind spot monitoring is standard. So this is the new design right here with the triangle. Looking on the inside, you're gonna find this very unique design, which if you've been following my videos, you've seen this unique design before, guys. This is pretty cool. You'll only see this on the Woodland. You have some hidden compartments here. So if you take this off right here, if you wanna put some items in there, you can hide that. But when you're putting this back on, guys, be mindful. This tab right here, you see that finger right there, is larger than the others. So make sure you line that up perfectly. Otherwise, whenever you put it back on, it will break those clips right there. So, and then you won't be able to put this back on. So be mindful of that. The mats, you do have custom mats for the Woodland here, which is pretty cool. Has your locks right here. So make sure you lock those. Anything in the horizontal position allows the mats to come up and the mats can slide under the accelerator. Hence you get the sticking accelerator. On the side of the seats, you will get a 8-way adjustable here. So 6-way here, and then you have your 2-way lumbar for the seat here. So looking on the passenger side, you get a 6-way adjustable. You do not get a power seat. Now, looking at the seats here, this is your mineral color interior, guys. Absolutely amazing interior. You have your light gray up top. Now, we've seen this interior before on the Trail Hunters in the 4Runner and also the Tacoma. So you have your copper tones right here throughout the vehicle, but this is your mineral color interior. You also have a black as well. So this part right here would be black if the interior were black, but this one is your mineral color interior. So very unique design there. All your RAV4s come standard with Toyota Safety Sense 4.0. And 4.0 is everything you had on 3.0. The sensors are just heightened. They increase the sensitivity of those, so therefore it detects earlier. So that is essentially what your 4.0 is. So nothing different, it's just better sensitivity. Now looking on the steering wheel here, you do have several of your other features that I've shown you before in previous videos. So if you've been following that, so this right here controls your MID screen here, volume control here, left and right, that's going to control your presets on your radio, or if you listen to Pandora or anything like that. Right here, this is going to be a go back from a sub menu to a main menu, and that's going to be your voice command. So your voice command, we're going to talk about this more in depth as we get into the video, because that's going to allow you to prompt the system here, the Arene software, to get the information that you want. On the right hand side, this is going to be for your adaptive cruise control mostly. Now with the 4.0, just like 3.0, you'll have up to 4 car lengths right here that you'll be able to adjust between you and another car. This is going to be your adjustment for your cruise control right here. And this is going to be your lane keep assist, okay? And this button right here, your mode button, in previous models, you had multi-functions on that, okay? But this has changed. Your mode button is usually for going between your AM, FM, XM, and also muting or pausing your radio or phone call. They've combined that and just labeled it a mode button. That is for your adaptive cruise control. In the Woodland, this is standard. In some of your other models, this is not standard. This is going to be part of a driver assist package. You'll see that like in the XLE Premium and stuff like that. But in the Woodland, this is standard, guys. And this is going to help you monitor your eyes. So if your eyes are wandering a little bit, maybe you might have to adjust your posture. Maybe you might have to adjust your seat. And that's going to monitor your eyes, okay? That's also going to help with your traffic jam assist, but you do have to have an active subscription for your Drive Connect. That's how it's going to be able to tell whether or not you're within city limits or not. And it's a low speed cruise control around 25 miles per hour, okay? So looking a little bit further to the right here, the Woodland is only going to be able to get a 10.5 inch display. You do not have a 12.9 available for the Woodland, but you have your same Arena software in this model. So some of the options could be different on this right here based on the trim level. But you do have dual zone climate control in all your models, as you can see. The Woodland does have heated seats, no ventilated seats, okay? So you have a high, a low, and an off. You have your heated steering wheel, that's gonna be standard. And also, let me go back because I'm jumping a little bit. But also, you have your rain sensing wipers here. So your rain sensing wipers and your heated steering wheel and your de-iso are usually part of a weather package. But on the Woodland, that is standard, guys. So you're gonna see that standard on the Woodland. Now, looking back here at your Arena software here, your infotainment display, you have an automatic here. So as you adjust the temperature, the fan is gonna fluctuate. Or you can adjust the fan manually, or you can hit a max, or you can hit off. Okay, if you want to turn it on, you can turn it on this way, or you can hit the automatic. And like I said, it'll ramp up according to where the temperatures are. Okay, the fan ramps up according to that to try to either cool the vehicle off as fast as possible or heat it up fast as possible, depending on the temperature outside. That's what that is based on. Okay, you have your recirculation of your air. You have your sync, which we've seen in past models with a dual climate control. So if the passenger side is at a different temperature, it actually resyncs it to the driver's side, whatever that is, and then it becomes a single zone again, okay? So going back to the steering wheel here, I can actually use this button right here to change the climate control, or I can simply say, hey, Toyota, change temperature to 72 degrees.
Okay, setting to 72.
So there you have it, guys. So there's 4 different ways that you can adjust the temperature. So one here, you can say, hey, Toyota. You can adjust it there, or you can adjust it here. So these are your heart touch right here. These are your touch buttons right here where you can change that on the driver and passenger, okay? So that's what that is for, all right? So right in the middle right here, so this is kind of a hidden button. If you hit this button here, it's gonna bring up the screen here. Now it gives you these other buttons right here that you can select, these floating buttons here. You have your de-icer right here. You have your AC button, and you can also use these right here. So any of these right here, you should be able to use also with your voice command, okay? Such as your AC button, you can turn that on and off, fan on and off, temperature on and off, heated seats on and off. So many things you can do from that. And you have your eco right here. Eco is gonna optimize your gas mileage while cooling the vehicle off or heating the vehicle up. And then you have your smart flow, which has been in Toyotas for a while now. That's gonna shut off zones that are not being occupied. So if I'm riding along and this zone is not being occupied, or the rear, then it's going to shut off those zones if I'm using my smart flow. So if you're not getting any airflow in the back, make sure you shut that off right there, okay? And that's going to shut it off. All right? So down below, you do have your hazard lights right here. So your hazard lights, this is going to be your common position in your RAV4s. You do have a wireless charging right here in the Woodland. Your wireless charging is actually going to start in the XLE Premium. You cannot get your wireless charging in anything below the XLE Premium. Your LE and your SE will not have wireless charging, okay? So these will just be two places where you can place your phone. That's what this is right here. You can just place your phone there sort of get it out of the way, or you can place it in here. You have plenty of room in there as well. Or this is nice and deep. You can put it in there. So several places you can put it, but this is a charger. Make sure you're not putting anything metal right there, guys, like any keys, anything like that, that could heat up and could damage the charger by putting that there. So make sure you don't put anything there that could slide, and that's metal, okay? So that's what it is. It's always on. You cannot turn it off, just an FYI. So with your drive modes, I can press the button here and it will jump between your different drive modes, okay? Now with your custom, you cannot change any custom modes when you're in motion, guys. Just an FYI. So make sure you stop and then you can change that. You can press this right here. You can tap the screen to whatever you want. And then, like I said, in your custom mode, you can go to configure, and then you can change your powertrain, you can change your steering, and you can also change the air conditioner, okay? So your different modes, and you can customize it. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. Going down right here to your EV, because this is a HEV, you can actually engage that as long as you have sufficient charge on the battery, okay? And you can go up to 25 miles per hour. Anything above that is beyond the capability of the battery. But guys, the Woodland does have a PHEV as well, which should be, those are being produced right now. So your plug-in model RAV4s are in production right now, and you do have a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle in the Woodland. So you have 4 models. You have the Woodland, you have the XSE, you have the SE, and you have the new GR Sport. Okay. Now it's rumored that, and I haven't confirmed this yet, that the Woodland and also the XSE are going to have DC fast charging, guys. So that's going to be your 2 models that's going to have DC fast charging, and we'll talk about that a little bit further along the line as we get those vehicles on ground. To the right here, you do have your trail mode. That's going to enable what they call your dynamic torque vectoring. Dynamic torque vectoring is typically, it's on an all-wheel drive, and what that does, if you're on, based on the surface that you're on, that's going to apply the brakes to a wheel that's slipping, and it's going to transfer to the wheel that has traction. Okay, so let me say that again. If the wheel is slipping, it's going to apply the brakes and it's going to transfer. That is what your trail button is right here. That's for your dynamic torque vectoring. Okay, along the right hand side here, that's going to be for your snow mode. Your snow mode lowers the torque in your wheel, so therefore it doesn't promote spinning of the wheel. Okay, and if you need to go back to a normal, you can go back to a normal, and you'll see that's on the screen right here. Okay, so that's your trail, that's your snow, and then you go back to your normal. Okay, so that's how you do that. All right, down below right here, we do have 45-watt USB-C chargers right here. And in the Woodland also, you have a panoramic view monitor. Okay, so as you can see, it shows you kind of where the wheels are going here. So let me straighten up the wheels. There we go. There we go. So now as you turn the wheels to the right, you see that it adjusts the wheels here. So therefore, it shows you the projected path of the wheels. So that's pretty cool. And if you press this again, it gives you a different view. Okay, so then it turns it off once you press it the 3rd time. It goes back. All right, down here on the right hand side, you do have your downhill assist. So if you're going down a hill, really all you have to do is just steer. It uses the brakes to control the descent down the hill is what it does. So it's a really cool feature. And this is typically found in an all-wheel drive, guys. So you will not see this in a front-wheel drive. And then you have your traction control, works with the ABS brakes. That's part of your star safety system. That's going to apply the brakes and stop the tire from spinning that is slipping, and brings it back into sync with the tire that's spinning at normal speed. So that's what that is for. And it also cuts the engine horsepower. So that works behind the scenes to keep you and your family safe. So here you have a cup holder. So you can pull this out to create a little bit more space for you. Okay, you can put it back in. Now the Woodland also, let's put this back in park. So your Woodland has a traditional mechanical shifter here. So in some of your upper models, like the XSE as optional, and in the Limited that is standard, you have a shift by wire. So it's a little toggle there. So if you want to know what that looks like, make sure you check out my Limited video, and I've shown you a full video how that looks. That's not available in the Woodland, guys. That's only available in the XSE with the XSE driver's assist package, and it's standard in the Limited. Okay. All right, so you have your shift patterns. So you have your typical shift modes right here: park, reverse, neutral, drive. And then you have your sequential shifting. Okay, that's your plus and your minus. You have 6 gears for this right here. So you shift it down and you shift it over to the right. Okay, and you see the S5, S6, and that's as far as it'll go. You go back down to 1. Okay, so that's your sequential shifting. So you have your electronic parking brakes. That's been on RAV4s for a while. So this is basically so automatically. So whenever you put the vehicle in drive, it's going to disengage. Put it back in park, it's going to re-engage. And then you have your brake hold here. Okay, now let me show you what that sounds like whenever you put it in drive, guys. Listen for this here. Listen for that screeching. Listen. Can you guys hear that? That is your parking brakes engaging and disengaging. So that's what that is. Now, if you want to disengage that, you don't like that, you don't like it being automatic, press down and hold this here. And you're going to see that. It's going to say deactivate it. Now, to reactivate it, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to pull up and hold it, and you're going to see activate it. There you go. So that's your difference. Keep it activated, guys. And anytime you're on a hill, you're on a decline, incline, it'll automatically engage and disengage. So once you put it in drive or even park, it'll engage or disengage. So just an FYI. So up top here, you do not have a automatic dimming mirror. I'm sure as the vehicles get a little bit farther along in production, you will have a dealership option where you can install a automatic dimming mirror, but this one doesn't have it. It just flips back and forth like your regular mirror. Further up top here, you do have a moonroof. So The Woodland does have a moonroof option. It is not standard. It is strictly an option, guys. So just a moonroof option. It is not a panel roof. It's just a regular roof here. So I can go back here and you see your crossbars, of course. That is standard. But it does have a moonroof. That is an option, guys. So this one has an option. So you can open it here. So you can open it or you can tilt it. So either or. You have your lights right here. So I can turn my lights on and off, as you can see. I have my door. So if your lights want to come on with the door. And these are just touch features. You know, there's no physical buttons. It's based on just touch, okay? Then you have your all on for your lights right here. That's your door setting. This right here is actually going to be for your safety connect. So your safety connect is complimentary for 5 years. If the airbags deploy, it automatically calls out the local authorities no matter which region you're in, guys. Make sure you register for that. So looking across the dash right here, you have the same design that you see in the doors. Soft touch material here, guys. This is so cool. I love this design in the doors, guys. And this can only be found on the Woodland. So you have nice deep door pockets right here. Look at this. You can even put stuff in the doors right there. I can pretty much get my whole hand in there. That's pretty cool. So cup holders in the doors here on the driver's side, passenger side. And then we've seen this so far, right? We've seen this before where you can open from both sides. And I can even take this off right here. So if I need the hard surface to write on, flip this over right here and I can write on this surface right here, okay? That's the hard surface. I can even put it in like that. So if I want to put it in like that, I can still flip it from both sides. So that's pretty cool. So looking in the second row on the Woodland, we got more designs on the doors, soft touch material here. Pockets not as deep in the doors, but they're still pretty deep. Cup holders in the doors. You got cup holders on the armrest right here. So 2 there for a total of 4. You got one in that door as well. You got some USB-Cs here and some vents. Remember, those vents are not blowing air. Make sure your smart flow is off if you're not getting air back here in these vents, guys. So you got pockets on back side of both seats here. So that's convenient. And if you need to fold the seats down, you can. So let's take these seat belts off here. If you need to fold the seats down, you can in a 60-40 split. That's your 40. You got some tethers right here. And also you got 2 seat positions, okay? So that's your first seat position. And then your next one, pull it up here, and it goes back even further. So the first sits up a little bit further. So if you want to sit up a little bit more, you can. But guys, I love this mineral color interior with the accents here, the two-tone. I absolutely love it. But what do you guys think of the mineral versus the black? The mineral is only found in the Woodland here. And also you can find that in the Trail Hunter, the 4Runner, or either Tacoma. But looking around to the power back door, this is what I wanted to show you guys. If your salesperson does not do this for you, this is what you need to do to activate your power back door. So if you pull on it right here and nothing happens, right? So the power is not on. Check this out. Close the door and make sure we get the full effect here. So I can hit this button here, press it and hold it. Look, so go up to yes and hit OK. Now the back door is active. So we go back to the door. All right, so the back door should be open. There we go. So now that trick doesn't work in all models. It works in some. So if you look in the back here, you do have your cargo liner here, right here with the Woodland badging in it. So that's pretty cool. Nice design. Now it does come with your privacy cover right there. So your privacy cover is standard. That's pretty much standard on all your models that I've seen. So if you need to remove it, you're going to pull from the right or the left. So collapse it, pull it out. Okay, you can swing back to your right or your left. Now if you don't need it, you can store it underneath, guys. So right underneath right here. So by the way, you do have a full size diameter spare, as you can see. Now if you need to store that privacy cover, you're going to take this off right here. You're going to take that off. That's one. And you're going to take that one off. That's your other one. Now as you can see, these little cutouts right here, your privacy cover can fit right in there, okay guys? So if you need it, it fits right in this area here and just sits right on top of that full size diameter spare. So just an FYI, if you ever need to pull that out, guys, and fold these seats down to gain more space. Now also, if you've been watching my videos, past and present, you can actually take this out and you can flip it over, guys. So if you're going to the nursery here, pick up some potting soil or either some plants, you can flip this over right here to this side right here. And you can also slide it right here. So there's an area where you can slide it right down in here. So right down in here, you can slide that down, okay? Now, once you come to the plug-in models, this right here, because the battery sits right here, this tire is going to sit up a little bit. So you won't be able to flip this over and put it down on the lower track. You won't have the room. So just an FYI, I've already seen it, and I'll verify that once we have one on ground. But you basically, this tire will sit up a little bit and you won't have that room, nor will you have the room to actually store your privacy cover. Now back to the activity mount, you notice you have a 4-pin connector. So you do have that. If you want to pull anything that requires like trailer brakes, anything like that, you can. As I mentioned before, this is going to tow up to 3,500 pounds because this is an all-wheel drive. All your all-wheel drives will tow 3,500 pounds. If you have a front-wheel drive, you can tow half of that, which is 1,750. So just an FYI, okay? Some of you guys may have seen this up top right here. This is just like the Sequoia. So if you press this button right here, it will actually close and lock the vehicle, just an FYI. So if you close it, make sure you step straight back. It's not like the Sequoia. The Sequoia will beep a couple of times. This right here, like I said, it'll physically just start closing, guys. So just an FYI. So make sure anytime you activate that, step back immediately because it doesn't have the sensors that the Sequoia had. And also, guys, you can expect to get 38 combined MPG on the Woodland. You can get 41 for your city and 35 for your highway. So guys, what do you think about the 2026 Woodland compared to your other models in the RAV4? Very specific needs for this vehicle here, very specific options that you don't see in some of your other models, such as your activity mount. You're not gonna see that in some of your other models. You can get a towing hitch on the other models, but it is not standard like it is on the Woodland here. Your Woodland also has the standard roof rails up top here that you only see on that particular model. Very specific design. Also come with your crossbars, and like I said, it has your all-terrain tires as well. So those are only options that you're gonna see on the Woodland model. And you have the mineral color interior. That's another thing that you're only gonna see on the Woodland. Also, your mineral color interior is only an option that you see on the Woodland. You cannot get that in any of the other model. And on the front, you have a very different look. You have your split grille versus your color key fascia like on your other models, guys. So those are just a couple of things that you're only gonna see on the Woodland that you won't see on any other model in the RAV4 lineup. So for that reason, the Woodland is a very unique vehicle. But what do you guys think about the Woodland compared to the other models? Make sure you guys drop that in the comments. Let me know how you feel about the Woodland compared to the other models. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found the video helpful, make sure you pass this along to friends and family. But you can find me right here on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads, right here, Andre Drives. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time right here, Andre Drives.